Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. This time, something that is coming soonish, I think. This is an interesting collaboration. I almost said collaboration. I'll go ahead and say it so you can make fun of me. But the correct word is collaboration, which is a word I've used probably thousands of times. Okay, well, we're having a great day today. So anyways, moving forward, I'm going to keep this in. I'm not going to edit this intro. This is a collaboration between Mike Emler and Katsu. If you haven't checked out Katsu knives, they make some really interesting stuff. Some stuff on the budget end and some stuff on the wild and crazy premium end. But they seem to get their heat treats correctly on their, all of their steel. Definitely check them out. I'll link them down in the description. It does help my channel and use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. So this is a prototype. I got this, this was sent to me by Jim Skelton. And I want to show you, first of all, this is Mike's. I can't show you what Jim wrote there because it's not appropriate. But that's the Instagram of the person who designed the knife. So this knife is... There's not a lot of information on when it's coming, whether it's by Katsu or Mike. But this is the Habu prototype. It's actually been a bit since I've checked out anything from Katsu, but I do enjoy their stuff. This is a knife on the larger side, and as soon as Jim showed me a picture of it, I knew that I was going to be a fan. Oh boy, very cool. So my understanding is that this is going to come in 4 different configurations. And I don't know all the scale materials, but I do like this wintry carbon fiber, right? Topographical wintry carbon fiber. It looks really, really cool. I have a simple backspacer, simple pocket clip. I watched another video on this and they said that Katsu does not plan to put their logo on the pocket clip for the final production. I don't know if that's actually confirmed, but the video that I watched, the guy said it as if he knew it absolutely. So I'll go ahead and toss that out there. And if Katsu's watching, yeah, that would be a good idea. Take that off of there. But anyways, let's get the blade out. Ooh, look at that. This kind of gives me a little bit of Ferrum Forge in the design aesthetic. It does look very, very nice. Now, we can't, almost poked myself there. We can't sit here and say that anything that looks like this is absolutely owned aesthetically. God, the action is smooth. Holy moly. Wow. Oh my goodness, that is wild. Is this even tightened down? Yeah. Jeez. Okay, so anyways, we can't say that this aesthetic is owned absolutely by Ferrum Forge, right? Because we've seen very similar profiles from Rockstead, from Shirogorov, right? It just has that... Remove this forward choil, and what you have here is a knife that looks very similar to the Rockstead. What is that knife called? The one I broke the tip off of, the Higo 2. And then it also kind of reminds me of the F95 or the F3NS, and that's a good thing, right? That's a classic knife profile. Disengagement of the lock bar is incredibly easy. It doesn't surprise me that Mike would think of all these little tiny things. Not that I know Mike personally. I do see a lot of his Instagram posts for sure. And then the flipper tab also, it's not quite the exact same Shirogorov flipper tab. But it is nicely knocked down on all sides. I'm going to, this is probably a combination of Mike and just Katsu knowing what to do with certain areas of the knife. Ergonomically, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous and absolutely makes me think, well, it makes me think of a lot of stuff. But it makes me think of, the profile on the F3NS. That forward choil is magnificent. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Nothing drives me crazier than when we have... Now, obviously, if your hands are huge, you know what? Even if your fingers are huge, there's still room here, right? My hands aren't the biggest hands in the world. I wear an XL glove, okay? So that's not huge. Sorry, guys. It's like I always poke fun at you, going to Home Depot. You got a lot of pride buying those XL gloves. It's pretty common. But if your hands are truly XL, 2XL, 3XL plus, right? Maybe not, but for most people, this is an incredibly roomy forward choil. And nothing drives me more insane than when they offer up the position for your finger in the forward choil, and because of the flipper tab, that room or that comfortability is made a little uncomfortably, it's just like compact, right? So it's like my thing that I always say is just make it bigger. Like there's already plenty of cutting edge. Make the forward choil bigger. And for some reason they don't. They just make it really, really small, right? So a lot of times it's almost like, well, you got to remove the flipper tab to give any ergonomic room. It shouldn't be that difficult of a thing to create a knife with a flipper tab and a roomy forward choil for the vast majority of people, and that's exactly what we have here. I'm also a gigantic fan of the simple and pretty highly polished, because a lot of times tumbled finishes aren't reflective, but I do like this nice semi-reflectivity and the tumbled finish there. We also have this is a prototype that's been passed around a bit, but the edge is fully flat ground and comes down to, I would say, kind of a medium. I just want to, this isn't going to prove much because it's just paper and it's been passed around a bit and it's a prototype, right? Yeah, it's pretty, pretty readily wanting to slice there. Just going to give it a couple of little tippy taps there so we can take a look. Yeah, it's one to bite in pretty good. So that's really cool. This has his initials on one side and then absolutely nothing on the front outside of the Katsu logo, which, if you have to put your logo on a knife, I can understand that. I don't mind it when it's on the pivot. I would prefer that it was like machined in there. This feels like it's been kind of lasered in there, which is okay. But again, I'd prefer that it was milled in there. So we have it's like a sub frame lock with a steel lock bar insert. We have, let's see where the lockup is real quick. Boy, can we even see it? Oh, I'm not looking at the right part. Duh. So yeah, something like maybe 40% or so. That's cool. Super comfortable. One note, since this is a prototype, and I would imagine that's why they send these out to get reviewed, this feels really good on the flipping action. There's two things that's happening here that's allowing it to feel good without the element that I'm going to suggest that they alter slightly. Number one, the shape of the flipper tab and the amount of leverage because of, the fact that the detent's in place, but also there's a lot of blade coming out there. So whether I light switch it or I push button it, it works perfectly and it's pretty darn satisfying. You need to, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, everybody has different preferences on detent. In my opinion, we should strengthen this detent up just a little bit. And it may very well be that Katsu and Mike plan to do that and they're like, yeah, you don't need to tell us that, idiot. Like, it could be that that's the case. But if that's not the case and you want feedback, I would suggest you strengthen this up by about 20 to 25%. I think there you're going to still get it to the point, because most people aren't going to be putting pressure on this lock bar just because of this scale right here, and that most people are going to land naturally here, so there's no excess pressure, right? Strengthening up a bit is going to make it, especially considering you've got that flipper tab nicely knocked down. It's not sharp or anything, right? That's going to add satisfaction, and essentially nobody is going to have a problem with it. It's not going to be an overpowering detent. As it sits right now, I'd rank it about medium light. And it works. It's fine. Like if you released it like this, I think people would be okay with it. But I venture to guess people would say strengthen that detent up a bit. That would be exactly my advice. But everything else here seems really, really great. I wish that you would have some option for a lefty pocket clip. But overall, this is a really cool knife. I always like it when knives are, kind of on the larger side. It just seems, it's not that I don't like any small knives. It just seems like, I don't know, 70% of the knives in the market are around 7.25 to 7.75 inches. So it's always nice to get something that's larger. Wow. 8.85 inches overall blade length, 4 inches. Cutting edge is 3.35, which is plenty. Very close, if not exactly what I see. You know what? Let's just get out some of those Shirogorov models that I was talking about here that I really, really enjoy and that remind me of this. Let's do this one and the F3. Okay, so here's the F95 and here's the F3. Obviously, Mike's design is different, but it kind of has that look, that nice blade to handle ratio, right? Nice big open ergonomic profile, a little deeper in here. Obviously, Shogoroth knives don't have the forward choil. I think one of the benefits to going with Mike's design is not only that you get a forward choil and still a substantial amount of cutting edge, but you also have a plunge grind that is superior. I mean, it still thickens up pretty readily. I'm not speaking from like incredible experience. This is a recent thing that I've learned that annoys people, right? So on Shogoroth knives, one of the biggest drawbacks if you're going to EDC it is this is widely considered to be an abysmal plunge grind. So I think you're going to have a better experience with Mike's design. It's also going to cost you substantially less money. Let's weigh it real quick, and then we will move into the end of the video. This is a weird thing to say. Yeah, my brain wants to say, and then we'll move on into the meat and potatoes, which would be part of the review. 5.7 ounces, no surprise there, versus something like the F95. It's a little heavier, right? And versus something like the F3, this is a smaller version, 4.9 ounces. I wonder what my thicker one weighs. So here's the NS. It's exactly the same, apparently. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, this is cool. I think it's great that it's made by Katsu. They've made some really, really awesome stuff. They're clearly a quality. Well, it's a company that's, help me out if I'm wrong. I think the company's based in Japan, but they have a Chinese OEM. And whoever the OEM is does a really, really good job. Anyways. Oh, wait. What's the steel? I'm going to guess it's M390. Here's what. Nowadays, it's M390, it's MagnaCut, or it's S90V. Now, Katsu does work with ZDP and probably some other stuff, but that would be my guess. When I review this, which again, today is not the review because not only do I not have information, Mike and Katsu have also not really released much information on this model, this prototype, right? So once I have the information and I'm able to review it, I will absolutely do that and provide those details for you as well as a link. I'll try to release it when the knife releases so you guys can get your hands on it if you want to. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks so much to Jim Skelton, and to Mike Emler, and to Katsu for letting me share this with everybody. I'll put the appropriate links to the best of my ability in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.